Floyd? What harm was he giving him? How is Sandra Bland? What harm was she giving him? Mike Brown. You know, I'm out of Columbus, Ohio. What about Senza Reed, Michael Bryant? These little kids. What was their harm? You dig what I'm saying? Tamir Rice. I mean, we can go on and on and on. And I bet you some kids here in Indianapolis that was unalive. Black folks, Mexicans that's unalive without no weapon and none of that. So it's very imperative that we gather together. Yay, gather together. The issue is we want to trust our enemy. Y'all in there voting like something's gonna change. I know the black woman mad. I know you mad. You thought the white woman's gonna vote for you. What's her name? Kamala Harris. First of all, she wasn't a black woman. One, no black woman cook greens and collard greens in a tub. That is disgusting. Who does that? I mean, come on, man. Like, we can't be simple, man. We can't be simple. Let's wake up. The greatest news I can give y'all is blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. We are the children of God. We the Israelites. Right. That's what they ain't gonna tell us. But my brother was bringing out. Who were we before it? Who were we before slavery? Who were we? No one knows. No one knows who we were. You say you African. You know what I'm saying? We say we African, right? You ain't no African. None of y'all know anyone in Africa right now. No one knows that. You understand? No one knows anybody in Africa. Like, you can't call your mom. Your mom don't know nobody. Your uncle don't know nobody. No one you knew anyone in Africa. You know what I'm saying? That's not who we are, man. And we learned it from our enemy. Well, let's see what the Bible says about this. Read.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thy enemy.
Sometimes you can trust them.
Never trust thy enemy.
If they give us a stimulus check, we can trust them.
Never trust thy enemy. Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rust, so is his wickedness.
Like iron rust is going to get worse and worse and worse. So what does that mean? Now, for the black woman, they was trying to put Kamala Harris in office. She was coming to her rallies pulling up with a mobile abortion ban. Like, you can go out there and go ahead and unalive that baby right now. What? Do y'all not know, black man, Hispanic man, that it's 350,000 babies every year that be aborted? Meaning that could be another king. Anybody, another doctor, lawyer, or police that's righteous who won't, to stop and frisk and unalive you. You dig what I'm saying? Look how stronger we would be. In 3 years, that's 1 million more black people, on the earth. Like you can't sit there, and think that unaliving a baby is 100. Like, how is that good in any way, shape, form, or fashion? You dig what I'm saying? But I know that black woman's really mad, man, because the white woman voted for a man. And I'm glad they did that. And I'm glad Trump is in office because he's really about to show us that we need to stick together. We need to. We ain't gonna win now. We ain't gonna win at all, man. It's blatant that he's trying to give the white folks some money, man. That is insane, but he don't care. And that's good because he's trying to make America great again. And when was America great? When we was all the way at the bottom slaves. Like, come on, if it's up to him, that's what he'll do. 100% profit. Think about it, $97 trillion for free? I can tell you to come to work. I ain't gonna pay you. I just feed you a couple sandwiches for lunch and dinner, and that's it. And give you a restroom or something to live in. Right? Drop that, brother. Give me 1 John 2:15. It's lucky. So it's high times and very imperative that we come together, realize who you are. You start right here with the ISUBK. If you black, Hispanic, Native American, man, woman, and child, y'all come get a flyer. You understand? Call that number and get down, man. Get down. Any oppressor, you know what I'm saying? Just get in the bucket, man. Donate. You gotta donate, right? Give me what you got.
This is 1 John chapter 2, verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world.
Love not the world. Let my brothers bring out, learn not the ways of the heathen. Like, understand this, man. What's the world? This system of things. We about to celebrate the unaliving of our own brothers, meaning the Native American. I know y'all done heard someone in your family. I got Indian in me. I'm Cherokee. The reason why, because that's your brother. That's your sister. You understand? A lot of us right here probably ain't all from Judah. There's probably some Gadites in here. We just don't know that. But we got to understand that we're supposed to not love the world. Now, we could be in the world if we got no choice, but don't love the world. This system of things. Like, if you love the world, okay, you love Christmas, but you also love homosexuality because that's part of the world. No, you got to love both of them. You got to get everything on that plate. You dig what I'm saying? If you love Easter, Thanksgiving, you also love aborting babies. Oh, hey, appreciate it, brother. You know what I'm saying? Most High Christ, damn right. You know what I'm saying? If you love anything of the world, you gotta take it all. You dig what I'm saying? Continue.
Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world.
So if you love, listen to this. If you love Christmas, Thanksgiving that y'all about to celebrate, you know what I'm saying? Anything that's in this world, rap. Oh, well, I like rap music. I'm about to trip on that one. But you know what I'm saying? That's me. But anything, all these wicked holidays, the reason why we say that because it's God attached to these things. And it's like, think about it. That was the unaliving. Thanksgiving is the unaliving of 77 million Native Americans. That's what's happening. They made 350 treaties. They broke them all, unalived them, pushed them all the way west. And now now they're on a reservation somewhere. You talking about reparations? Give my brothers back their land. Let's start there. You know what I'm saying? But continue.
This is 1 John chapter 15, chapter 2, verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
Woo! The love of the Father. So if you love Thanksgiving, Christmas, you love being a gang member, a 304, you know what I'm saying, a thought. You love doing all that in the world, the love of God is not in you. Because this world is about wickedness, but destruction. Like we can just stop with the unaliving of babies. It's real live debates about should we do it or should we not. Just take the time to inhale that, man. Let that sizzle in your spirit. That's wickedness. That is wickedness. You know what I'm saying? Give me Ezekiel, last one, Ezekiel 22 and 26. You know, that is wickedness. And then we can't blame, you know what I'm saying? You know who's to blame? No black man, Hispanic man? Our leaders. You know, you got Jamal Bryant. He a pastor. He talking about, he pro-choice, meaning he for, this is a pastor now. He's for unaliving of the babies. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to sell some weed. This is a pastor. Ezekiel 22, right. He was trying to sell some weed. Then he got pastors out here, a female pastor, that's wicked within itself. She talking about you can get healed by having sex with her. Yeah, no, that's real spit, no, you know what I'm saying, real talk. Your pastor talking about the holy milk, and we ain't gonna get too much into that. You understand? But our leaders have messed up. Why? Read.
Ezekiel 22, 26. This is Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 26. Her priests have violated my law and have profaned my holy things.
So the priests, they violated the law. Like right there, we know we ain't supposed to unalive a baby, just within yourself. You know that. And we ain't got to debate about it. We ain't got to break that down. What the baby do? You understand? Now, if you want to, the decision not to have a baby starts in the bedroom, not at the doctor's office. You dig what I'm saying? Just make that conscious decision, you know what? I'm not going to have sex. It's that simple. You understand? But these priests, these leaders, that violated God's laws. First thing they tell you, the laws are done away with. Let's make it make sense. So if the laws are done away with, turn off these traffic lights today. Let's just, you know what I'm saying? So I can unalive you, the laws are done away with. Now, without order, you have chaos. Right? Read.
They have put no difference between the holy and profane. Neither have they showed difference between the unclean and the clean. They have hid their eyes from my Sabbath, and I am profane among them.
Break that down, man. Like today's a Sabbath day, right? You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow you're gonna see a lot of wicked people in church telling you eat shrimp, crab, and lobster. That's the unclean thing. Or Thanksgiving. That's the unclean thing. Like why would you celebrate? Like it ain't even gotta be my people's. You know what I'm saying? But why would you want to celebrate, you know, the unaliving, you know, of Native Americans? And really, brother, that's our people. We all done heard. I got some Indian image. You got the good hair. I got 9 cousins say they got Indian numbers. They don't know, you know what I'm saying, but they say that though just because they got good hair, right? But these priests are leaders, you know what I'm saying, it's misleading us, man. If you want a real leader, you look at men right now who actually serve the Lord. You look at men right now who keep these laws, statute, commandments. And we ain't trying to be perfect. We don't keep some of the law to do the best we can. No, we gonna keep them all because we fear the Lord. And if you want someone to lead black men and Hispanic men, is, you know what I'm saying, commanding junior high at the ISUPK. You know what I'm saying? I'm preaching officer Khan. This is ISUPK, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, and that's my time.
Most High in Christ, clap it up for that powerful priest. Shalom. We're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, coming out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. Saying, clap it up for Esau, giving his riches to the prophets of God. You understand? And we are out here to teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians our true identity according to the Bible, which is the 12 tribes of Israel, the Lord's chosen people. And of course that the white man is the goddamn devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
Give me the book of Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 2. You understand? And this, once we accept who the devil is and accept that us taking on his lifestyle has destroyed us as a nation, we'll be able to heal as a people. But because the churches have lied to us and not told us to keep the laws of God and not told us what would happen to us if we defied the Lord, we're destroyed as a nation.
Right.
But you're going to hear from the prophets of God today about why we are destroyed and how we can come out of this condition that we've been in for so long.
That's right.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
This is the Lord. The Lord told the 12 tribes of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, not to learn the way of the heathen. Like, don't go into any of their ways. But sadly, because we followed Christian pastors and religious leaders, they promoted the heathen's lifestyle amongst our nation. They've told us to go and honor their holidays. They've told us to go into the abortion clinics and sisters unalive your baby so that you can have a career in this wicked empire. They've told our people, by telling our people that the laws is done away with, now we can go out and we can be anything we want to be in this earth, even if it means that we destroy our own, which that's not what we're supposed to be doing. The heathen, they can be drug dealers. The heathen, they can go out and they can live all the alternative lifestyles they want to. They've been doing it since the time of the Greeks and the Romans. Just go look it up. But for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, that's not a lifestyle for our people. That's why even though alternative lifestyles are promoted amongst our people, you go and you see how a pastor gets out of a car with a child or gets out of a car with a man, you know that's wrong. You know that that is against God, and you end up turning your back on that pastor because you know he is evil, because he is wicked, and he went into the way of the heathen. But that's not for our people. Go ahead.
And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
And that's how stupid the heathen are. They're dismayed. They're worried about the signs that happen in the heaven. A dark cloud comes around, now all of a sudden misfortune falls upon their entire nation.
Right.
Now a famine has to sweep through and take out all their crops and kill thousands of people because a dark cloud passed overhead. Because there was a light drizzle one day. Like, that's how the heathens think. But for our people, we're supposed to have universal practical knowledge.
That's right.
Which is exactly why this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Because you get in here and you understand how you are to conduct yourself, and you understand that when there is a plague in this earth, it's of the Lord. When there is war breaking out in this earth, it's of the Lord. And most importantly, you understand that if your people are destroyed, it's because the Lord has destroyed us for turning our backs on him. Because we followed nothing but traitors and sellouts that would much rather fatten their pockets than to make sure that we serve our Father who art in heaven.
Right.
But the prophets of God are here today, and we've been here since 1969 to tell blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to come out of America,
Right.
to turn back to to the Lord, to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, so that we no longer have to fall under the curses that are in the book of Deuteronomy. That's how we come up out of this condition as a people. Go ahead.
For the heathens are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
It's like you drop that. Give me 2 Maccabees chapter 4 and verse 12. It's in the Apocrypha. And you can just go look at the way of the heathen and understand how just stupid it is. Like only the heathen will sit there and unalive their children because they believe it'll further their careers. Even though our oppressors' daughters don't really do that in America. Like America promoting the abortions, it falls in line with what the ancient Egyptians were doing to the Israelites. How they unalived our firstborn sons. How they were promoting abortions amongst our nation. Well, America does the same thing to further destroy the Lord's chosen people. 4 and 12. Go ahead.
This is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 12. For he built gladly a place of exercise under the tower itself, and brought the chief young men under his subjection, and made them wear a hat. Verse 13.
Suck it. Read that from the top.
For he built gladly a place of exercise.
So this is talking about this bastard named Jason, who was an Israelite that sought to turn the Lord's chosen people into the customs of the heathens, sought to turn us to the culture of the Greeks. And what he go and do, he built a place of exercise. And our people, we may think it's something little to take on something like this, like going into a sports team. It's something little to just eat pork. But in reality, the Lord told us not to go into the way of these heathen because he knew that it would turn us from him. When you start eating pork, then you start to serve the gods of the heathens. When you go into their places of exercise, now you want to be all that you can be in their empire and turn your back on what the Lord intends for us. Like in the places of exercise for the Greeks, they was out there wrestling in the nude. You understand? They was out there maiming their own brothers with breaking their arms and legs and destroying their bodies, just like we do here in America. Look at all the athletes that have been paralyzed in America's sports teams. Also, the brothers have a hope of coming out of poverty, have a hope of being something in this wicked empire, when the Lord would rather you leave that behind. The Lord would rather you come and serve him in the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge under commanding General Yohana. That you become a prophet of God and raise up this nation, because the only people looking out, Slacky, the only people that's over blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are like this bastard Jason.
Right.
Men that want to only profit themselves. Go ahead.
Verse 13. Now such was the height of Greek fashions and increase of heathenish manners.
And along with promoting the sports teams amongst our people, this bastard promoted Greek fashions. He, think of, like, you see brothers walking around with the skinny jeans. Now they're walking around with skirts and tights and dresses. That's Greek. That's a Greek fashion. That's Greek culture. Because once again, the Greeks were rampant alternative lifestyle livers. You understand? Like, so much so that they had a custom in their nation called pederasty, where they just go and make relationships with boys. As long as you're the manly one in it, it's not considered gay for them. It's not disgraceful. Well, in the Israelite culture, it's very much disgraceful. It's very much disgraceful to take on the ways of our oppressor, take on the ways of America, just like it was back then during the time of the Greeks. Go ahead.
Verse through the exceeding profaneness of Jason, that ungodly wretch, and no high priest.
And you know who Jason should remind blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians of? Because Jason was a sellout. He was someone that would much rather he become rich if it means that he destroys his own. You know who else is like Jason? Martin Luther King Jr. You know who else is like Jason? Farrakhan. The leaders of your fake Israelite groups. The rich here in America that would much rather throw their people under the bus as long as it means that they can become rich. And that's exactly what has happened to our people. Since we followed such weak leaders, now us as a nation, we've grown weak. We've grown destroyed as a people because we've turned our back on the Lord. Go ahead.
That the priests had no courage to serve anymore at the altar.
And Salakia, for the end of that verse, calling Jason a ungodly wretch and not a high priest, like Martin Luther King was no high priest. He was not a priest of God. How do you know? Because of the lifestyle he promoted amongst blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Martin Luther King told us to integrate into our oppressor society. He told us to take on their way of life. Why? So that he could go and have orgies with white women. So that he could get rich under America's empire, when in the last of his days, he told all of us that he integrated us into a burning house. Told us that he put us in danger as a people, and we want to keep his foolish dream alive, when what we should do is throw it in the garbage where it belongs and learn how we are supposed to be as a nation. And the only way you can do so is if you come into the ISUPK under commanding General Yohana. That's the only way, because we are the only prophets of God that are raising up the Lord's chosen people. The only prophets of God that honors the sacrifice our great and holy King, Jesus Christ, made for us and us alone.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Verse 13, now such was the height of Greek fashions, and that priests had no courage to serve anymore at the altar.
And that's what happened to the priests of our nation. A position that was renowned for its honor, for its glory. Now the men, they grew weak. They no longer wanted to uphold this office, because what were the Greeks doing to us back then? To Hellenize us, to get us to come into their culture. Well, they would boil us alive. They would scalp us, cut out our tongues, pluck out our eyes. They would flay us alive. They would do every unimaginable act to us in order for us to abandon our culture, which is the same thing that America has always done to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Just go look at when they first landed in these shores. Look at how it is that they would chop off our hands and hang them around our necks and send us through the lands to show the other tribes what would happen if we continued living our lifestyle, if we did not submit to the heathens that came into our lands. Just go look at the horrendous things that America, that Spain and England and France and the Russians and the Germans, all the crimes that these people have ever done to us. Just go do your research. Just look it up. That's why during the time of the Greeks that we even abandoned our culture, because of the hardship we were put through, because of the torment we were put through as a nation. Well, today, the prophets of God are willing to lose their lives to uphold this office.
That's right.
Thanks to the sacrifice of the men that came before us, the sacrifice of commanding General Yohana, we raise brave black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men in here.
Right.
Like I said, men that would much rather be unalive than to turn our back on our culture.
Right.
That's why we don't fear our oppressor. We don't fear the FBI, the CIA, the Proud Boys, no organization. We don't fear nobody but the Lord.
That's right.
That's why we raise black, Hispanic, and Native Indian women that would much rather die than go and be a whore in the world.
Right.
That would much rather be unalive than unalive their babies in Planned Parenthood.
Right.
That's the caliber of man and woman that we build here in the ISUPK, and it's the caliber that we desperately need as a nation.
Right.
If you don't believe so, go look at our communities, our families. Go look at the state of our people, and you'll see otherwise. Go ahead.
But despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifices.
And that's what happened. Like we neglected the temple. Like we no longer kept all the things that was holy. We no longer honored them, kept them, held them to a high estate in our eyes. And of course, that's something that has happened here in America. Like the Bible used to be something that was holy, something that was special, something that could raise a people up. But once them pastors got a hold of it and promoted America's philosophy, promoted the destructive philosophies of white supremacy to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, well, now black people don't want to follow the Bible.
Right.
Now they want to go off into the religions of the Ishmaelites or the Arabs and go kiss rocks over there in the desert, even though millions of people are kissing it. It never gets washed. It stays out there in the elements with the bird poop all over it. Like you're going to worship a rock because a homosexual destroyed your faith in this book right here.
Right.
Destroyed your faith in the Word of God, the only Word of God, which is the Holy Bible that we read from right here.
That's
The
right.
Bible that was given to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the 12 tribes of Israel. Well, you can come in here and that faith can be strengthened once again. Like you can learn the truth, and the truth shall set you free.
Right.
Go ahead.
Hasten to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise.
And what did Martin Luther King do?
Hasten to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise.
What does T.D. Jakes do when he gets swallowed up?
Hasten to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise.
Hey, Slocky, who's that pastor that died of AIDS a few years ago? Eddie Long? What Eddie Long do?
Hasten to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise.
And that's what these pastors have done.
Right.
And that's what they have promoted to our people. For us to go and live this lifestyle, to partake in the unlawful allowance. You understand? And look what has happened to them.
Right.
Like Mr. Swallowed is probably going to be wrapped up in this Diddy situation because we know he loves them little boys. Martin Luther King got a bullet in his head. Eddie Long got AIDS because he wanted to fiddle with men and little boys. You understand? Like, look what the Lord does to you if you turn your back on him. He destroys us, just like he has been destroying us as a nation. Just like the curses in Deuteronomy would tell us what happened. But there's an opportunity for us to save our lives. An opportunity for us to find salvation as a nation. And that is to turn back to the Lord. To come into this school right here and to change your lives. That's the only way you can do so.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to be destroyed just like Eddie Long, just like Mr. Swallow and the Diddler, and all of the religious leaders that have came before us, Salakia, and have been destroyed by the hand of the Lord.
Right.
Go ahead.
After the game of discus called them forth. Verse 15.
And with that, that's my time. Shalom, we're the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, coming out 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York.